all of our intelligence collection, all of our intelligence analysis, all of our intelligence planning really should go towards four main goals. We'll call them the lenses of planning, right? The lenses of mission analysis. Number one is defend. I'll write them all up here. Defend, diminish, deny, and defeat. Those are the four pieces to our mission puzzle, if you will. Defend. All right. The best way to keep a secret is to deny that that secret exists. In the Army, in the government, well, in the whole, all of the military, all of the government, all right, at least the action arms, the intelligence collection arms, we practice this thing called OPSEC. Operation Security. It is all about protecting information. We are denying the availability of sensitive or classified information to the enemy. Now, really, OPSEC is as old as war itself. For thousands of years, people have used the dead of night and terrain masking to hide the sizes of their army, to hide what we call intent and capabilities. There's a word we use that's indicators. Right? Indicators are observable or potentially observable clues about adversary intent and capabilities. So as an example, what's one thing that hopefully most Americans do before they go on an extended vacation? They get those little timers and they plug in the lamp and the radio or the TV and it cuts on at 6 o'clock. Right? We get a neighbor or a friend or family member to go collect our mail, collect our newspapers. So if you're driving down a neighborhood and it's 9 o'clock at night and you see that, let's say 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and all the lights in this neighborhood are on in the homes except for one. And this one house not only does not have lights on, but it has 5 newspapers sitting in the driveway and the mailbox is stuffed full of mail. Right? What is a fair assumption that we can make? Right? Well, either the people are shut-ins or they're just not there. Right? So the lights, the mail, all that stuff, those are what we call indicators. So really the first step of OPSEC is to identify those indicators. Right? What information are we unknowingly broadcasting to the people who are looking at us? We have the conventional threat and the irregular threat. Well, there are 4 types of threats. Right? There's conventional, irregular, catastrophic, and disruptive. Today we're really going to focus on conventional and irregular threats. The conventional threat is the uniformed threat. Okay? That is the standing army, the police state's police force. Okay? Those are the people with essentially de jure authority. Okay? So for instance, the Iraqi army in Iraq is a conventional threat. The United States Army in Iraq and Afghanistan is a conventional threat to the insurgent population. The insurgents are the irregular threat. Okay? One of the things that marks 4th generation warfare, the irregular threat, is the blurred lines between soldier and civilian and political and military. In the blink of an eye, the irregular threat goes from being a normal civilian to an armed assailant. Okay? He goes from an average citizen, who we really can't tell the difference, to the guy calling the cell phone to set off an IED to blow our trucks up. Right? Or hitting the button on a command wire IED to kill U.S. soldiers or Marines. The conventional threat is easy to identify. Okay? In most cases, they're uniformed. They are there. They're doing their show of presence, show of force. All right? Saying, look, we're in control. We own this land. Here we are. Come attack us. All right? Like the Marines do in Afghanistan. They start walking until someone shoots at them, and then they go kill them. All right? That's typical of a conventional threat. Well, the irregular... On my blog, I talk about Leroy Jenkins' gang. Okay? The Leroy Jenkins gang is the typical criminal gang. All right? It can be 2 people, 5 people, 10, 20, 30. All right? How many ever people? I would say probably every county in America has one, or will have one if they don't. After an emergency, right? Post, crap hits the fan, There are going to be people out there who either mean you specific harm or who just want to survive. Okay? Both of those are irregular threats. We are not going to be able to always identify who these people are, or what exactly they want from us. They could go from unassuming person who just wants some food or water or shelter for the night to a person who wants to come and take over your bug out location, or who wants to take over your homestead or farm. So part of defense is protecting information. Now, how do the irregular threats find you? Well, they find you potentially online. They find you through word of mouth. Right? There's a concept that we call reciprocation. Okay? If I do something nice for someone else, then they're more likely to respond in kind. If I do something mean to someone else, they're a lot more likely to respond in kind. Same thing with information. If I volunteer you information, you are a lot more likely to volunteer the same type of information to me. Right? So if we're talking at a restaurant, or I bump into you at the grocery store, or maybe at work, whatever, and I say, oh hey, me and my buddies, we went out and fired our AR-15s last week. Well, potentially what are we thinking? Hey, there's someone like-minded. And we say, oh, I've been buying ARs since 2008, and I got 10,000 rounds stocked up. Okay. Well, this person, may not be nefarious, but what he's doing is eliciting information from you. Right? It's very difficult to detect elicitation. He's not asking. Basically, he's asking you a question. Basically, he's asking, hey, what affiliation do you have with AR-15s or other, weapons? But he's doing it in a very non-invasive way. Right? So, knowing how individuals target specific information from us is pretty important. I would say in most cases they're not nefarious, but you never know. It all goes back to OPSEC. Okay. OPSEC, in the simplest of terms, is keep your mouth shut. Right? Need to know. If someone does not need to know something, then they should not know something.
What does OPSEC stand for?
Yeah, OPSEC, Operation Security. Yeah, we went over it, but
got it.
But yeah, no problem. Yeah, Operation Security. Right. Operational security, guards, gates, and guns. Okay, that's a physical security for operations. Operation security is all about protecting information. Okay, denying the availability of information to an adversary. Well, basically to anyone. An adversary or a threat is anyone with the intent and capability. We can argue about how loosely we're going to define that. Someone without the capability but with the intent, are they really a threat? Well, in my book they are. They may acquire the capability in the future without my knowledge. We should definitely treat those people as a threat. The flip side is people with the capability but not the intent. Right? They're going to be on my radar as well. They may not have the intent today. One day they may acquire the intent. So OPSEC, everyone needs to get spun up on OPSEC. But not just operation security, but also information security. Digital security, right? We're very lucky to have a very new blog called Information Operations. And if that individual wants to make himself known, then he can. But it was linked on WRSA just a few days ago. I'd encourage everyone to go there and start learning about digital security, right? And personnel security, right? Not giving up identities, not giving up locations, at least for free. Another part of the Defend mission is what we call OSINT, or open source intelligence. Okay? That's stuff that we see on TV and hear on the radio and find online. Right? If you don't know where the sex offenders or the violent criminals in your area live, well, you're doing your family, you're doing your group a large disservice. Right? Criminals who are willing to be violent today are going to be a lot more willing to be violent when they need to be, out of necessity, later on. So, one of the very first things that I would look at is who lives in my community, right? Who lives within a few miles of me? Who lives within the county, the neighborhood, whatever, right? Reporters, they are our intelligence collectors. Right? They're going out getting information, and whether it's true or not is for the intelligence analysts to decide, but they're out there reporting on information. It will behoove us to start collecting that adding that to our intelligence holdings. The last piece of the defend mission is human, right? Human intelligence. That's our source networks, okay? Everyone has a source network. When you go to work and you talk to your coworker about something that happens in work, okay, what are you doing? You're collecting human intelligence. When you talk to family members and friends and strangers, right? The stranger that tells you about the crime that was committed down the road, last night, right? We're collecting human. Learning how to best collect human is extremely important. Right? Again, think about reciprocation. Okay, we can learn a lot just by going out and talking to people. I mean, in essence, that's all human intelligence is. So we'll go a little bit further into that later. But the defend mission is defending what we have. Okay, if we do not have security, we don't have anything.